Good afternoon. Good to be back in Floyd County. I want to say thank you very much again, and also ask you to keep Dan Hanks in your prayers. He's been a good friend to all of us, and a good friend of this party, a good friend to me personally, and I hope that we can encourage him on to his recovery. And I also want to say thank you to Floyd County. 2 years ago when I got elected to the State House to represent you, I remember, and I will not soon or probably ever forget, that Floyd County is what put me over the top in that race, and I'm very, very grateful to you, and I thank you very much for letting me continue to serve you down there at the State House. Katie referred to me as the young guy, and I guess I'll be happy to accept that title as long as I can. But one of the problems with being a young guy is you are usually one of the last to speak, which means that all the good lines have already been taken, and everybody's already said the stuff that you want to say, and everybody sitting out there is ready to just get up and go and have another glass of tea. So that means you got to hurry up and say what you're going to say and sit down. But we did get to accomplish a lot of important things in the last couple of years. The speaker alluded to the meaningful tax reform that we passed to encourage manufacturing investment in Georgia, and encourage families to invest and spend in Georgia, and give a more stable, meaningful tax scheme for Georgians to live under. We also pushed forward some very important conservative agenda ideas. The most broad, sweeping, powerful pro-life legislation ever passed in Georgia was passed this year under Speaker Ralston's leadership. We clarified the assisted suicide ban that had essentially been struck down by our Supreme Court, reiterated the legislative authority to set law in Georgia. And after years of hearing Democrats tell us we can't do anything about immigration problems because that's a federal issue, we said enough is enough, and we passed meaningful immigration reform at the state level. And Attorney General Owens has done a masterful job in defending that legislation in the federal courts. Thank you, Attorney General Owens. And going forward, we have some serious challenges. The first one is what everybody's talked about, and that is our federal elections. We have to elect real, principled, conservative leadership up and down the ticket, all the way up and down the ballot. It's time to elect and re-energize our elected Republican officials to get in place to do the job to protect America, its values, and its future. We also have local elections and state elections to worry about. I really want to encourage you to get behind Eddie Lumsden and Trey Kelly, two good men, good conservatives who are going to represent you well. But we also have something else on the ballot in November. Nobody else has talked about this, so I'm excited to be the first guy to mention it, I think, unless I missed it. And that is a constitutional amendment you're going to vote on in November. And what is the most important thing you hear about in this political cycle in the last few years? Jobs, 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 right? That's the number one thing. Economy, jobs, that's what's driving everything. I want to tell you that the charter school amendment is about jobs, jobs, jobs. Why is that? Because as John Barge told you a few minutes ago, education is a driving factor for jobs, and I'm almost done. And when manufacturers are looking for a place to invest, they don't think about Fulton County maybe has some bad problems, and DeKalb County can't keep accreditation. They say, Georgia education has got problems. Do we really want to invest in it? The charter school amendment will allow the state to go into those communities that can't fix their own problems and give those parents an option and an opportunity to have good education for their kids, and an option and an opportunity for manufacturers to give us a second look and say, hey, Georgia's doing something right with their education. I encourage you to vote yes on the constitutional amendment. It's not going to have much effect in a place like Rome and Floyd County. We've got good schools and good systems and good politicians who listen to you. But it's going to be a huge difference in those places where teachers, organizations, and unions have strongholds and chokeholds on political leadership, and parents can't get the assistance they need in their education system. It gives them another avenue to help. So there's a lot of work still to be done, and I know we can do it together. And if we work together, we can keep Georgia as the best place in America to live and work and raise families. I appreciate your help and your support. God bless you. Let me introduce you to a guy who is doing just that. He is on the front lines of promoting conservative, Republican, constitutional principles to a community that is underrepresented in our party. Michael McNeely, who is a Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Juvenile Justice, is the elected chairman of the Georgia Black Republican Council. Michael is a committed conservative. He's a guy you want to know because he is not only a rising star, he's a star in the Georgia Republican Party, elected in 2009 to be the chairman of the Georgia Black Republican Council. Please welcome Michael McNeely.